and I am here with four lovely ladies, and we're going to talk about our welcome books that we get to that we give to our guests and the different methods we use. And so, with me first, I've got Kathy. If you want to tell us where your property is, that would be great.
We're located on Isle of Palms in South Carolina, just a little bit away from Charleston.
Okay, great. And then we've got Lori with us.
Hi, well, we're in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, but we list in Charleston because we're at the foot of the bridge going into Charleston, and we have two properties.
Awesome. Okay, and then Maria, I'll get back to you if you want to type everything out for me real quick. We do have the issue of Maria is with us, but we cannot hear her at all. So she will be chatting with us, and then I'll be speaking for her. Oh, she's got it up. Okay, so she's got two properties in Down East Maine and one in beautiful Nova Scotia. So she gets to talk to a lot of Canadians as well. And then we have Melinda.
So we are in Lake Tahoe, and specifically in Tahoe Donner in Truckee, California.
Great. Well, thank you, ladies. And then, of course, I do have two properties as well, and they are in Branson, Missouri, just south of there at Hollister, but, 10 minutes from town, so we're right there. Okay, so we're going to talk about welcome book information, and this information is what we give our guests as far as how to get to our places, the information that's of what's in the house as well, because everybody wants to know what's in there, and then emergency contact information, and then as well as things about the area, where they're going to go to get their groceries, your favorite restaurants that you recommend, and everything about the area that you want them to know. So first we're going to do is when do you give your guests the property information? I know everybody has, a lot of owners do this differently. And Kathy, you want to start us off and tell us when you give your guests property information?
Well, it varies, depends on what information you're talking about. Everything's on our website. I use the hospitality app. We also have a couple of welcome books in our house, and then I also have a guest manager who meets our guests at the house and gives them additional information. I don't release the codes or any other detailed information until they've made their final payment. Once they've made their final payment, then all of that is released. But now with the hospitality app, they get everything as soon as they book, so that's a little bit different now. But that's what we do. We do a little bit of everything because I think people have different styles that they like, and I never know what that's going to be. So they're offered various different ways of getting the information.
We give it on inquiry because I live on the property, so I'm not afraid of being broken in, and the other property is right around the corner, and we monitor it with, being here. So upon inquiry, I release the address and all the information to entice the guests, and we use keys so we meet them and we don't have to use codes, and they can access everything from the moment of touch base.
Oh wow, that is awesome. And what do you use to get them information? Is it just by emails? You email them in the text to the email? Do you send a PDF? Do you have it on your website? Do you use the hospitality app that HomeAway has?
Yes to all of the above.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, and then Maria, if you want to start typing what we've been talking about. Oh, you did. Awesome. Okay. So Maria, when she gets the first of her two payments, she tells them that she will give them the details after the final payment has made. However, she does have a very detailed website that lists all the amenities and links to information about town. And then, of course, she doesn't normally give the property address until after the last payment unless they specifically ask. I think most owners do that. Right. And then she is using HomeAway's hospitality app also. Awesome. Okay, Melinda, tell us.
So we have a PDF file that we email out to the guests after they've made their final payment, and that has the house information and area information, everything. We're thinking about using the hospitality app at some point, so I'm excited to hear about what the rest of you have to say on how that goes for you.
Great. Okay, cool. All right, so then, so we talked about when we gave them the information and a little bit about our methods. So pretty much everybody uses email. Do we all have welcome book? Or I don't even. Do we all have welcome books too at the house?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Me personally, I do have a lot of stuff on my website. I even list the TV Guide channels on my website. Funny enough, I actually got a call from a guest yesterday asking specifically, what channels do you have at the house? Do you have the kids Disney Channel? Whatever package has ESPN, we have that package. So I was like, oh yeah, then just go look at our website. It's there, I promise. So that was really cool to be able to just say that because I don't know if she's booked or not, and she never told me that either. Maria's telling us that she has welcome books also, and then she also made a Shutterfly photo book as an info book for one of the houses. Maria, tell us more about that, and yeah, type it out, and then while I talk.
I also use.
So yeah, I have a welcome book.
I also use Bookerville, and that sends some automated emails out to people. Like our welcome letter goes out 2 weeks before, not only through the app, the hospitality app, but also through Bookerville.
Okay, so what type of things does Bookerville send?
Whatever I tell them to send. I can set it up very individualized. So they send my welcome letter, they send information on how to work our locks when I send them the code. I don't send the code through Bookerville, but I send the information on how to work the locks. And then they get information on checkout and what they have to do for checkout that way too.
Okay, awesome. Very cool. Are they just in the text of the email, or do you put a PDF file?
I do both. Sometimes it's a PDF, sometimes it's actually typed into the text of an email.
Okay, great. Let's see what Maria tells us. All right, so she made the photo book as an info book, and with a coupon code, it was real reasonable, about $25. It's about 20 pages, and she has the house instructions that she's pretty sure they won't change often, and then a story about the house and a lobster recipe. That is a great idea, Maria. Does anybody else have links to their website when you give people information?
It's in my signature line in all my emails, so it's all.
Okay, so you have the info on your website also.
Yep.
Okay, and Melinda and Lori, do you do the same thing?
If our website was more current, I would, but we haven't updated it since adding the second house, and it's one of my projects. So right now, I don't, but I should. I don't think there's any such thing as too much information. I'm a believer in information overload. And I think when guests get excited, they want more and more and more information. So you can give them the hospitality app, you can give them PDFs, you can give them Bookerville, and all it does, I think, is continue to turn the excitement level. And
very good point.
They will access what is the right level and the right information for their personality and their needs.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. Melinda, what did you?
Yeah, and I would agree with what she just said, and that's one of the reasons why we're looking at the hospitality app. We just haven't gotten there yet. We're still new, and we don't have a website yet either, so it's something that I've certainly seen all of you guys talk about, and I think it's a huge benefit, and as soon as we get a little bit of time, we'll be working on that.
Awesome. All right, and Maria says she does refer to her website and her Facebook page in her signature link of all the emails, so she does have that information there as well. So, big question is, what are you finding your guests using the most? Are they requesting emails even though you're giving them the HomeAway Hospitality app? Are you finding that they're really liking the app? Have you had feedback from people? What is it your guests have said that they like? Or is it just, oh my gosh, we're so excited, you're giving us all this information, and it just makes their experience at your place even better?
Not everyone uses the app. You know, it depends on, again, like Lori said, their style and what they like. But I always get comments that people feel like they had a lot of information. And everyone has commented on the books in the house. I have one that's a welcome book with information about the house, another for restaurants, and another for local attractions. And they seem to like like Lori said, the redundancy of that. They like to have it in a couple different formats.
Lori, does your dog want to join in?
I've been trying to keep him quiet.
That's okay. Melinda, how long have you had your property?
So we just started renting it last December, and we had it for, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, we had it for a whole year and took an entire year to fill it and furnish it and decide how we wanted to do things. So we really took our time and paid attention to detail. And in the meantime, when we were looking to buy the house and within furnishing it, we also rented ourselves. And so one of the places we rented had this amazing PDF file, which is why that's the first thing that we went for, because it was so helpful and useful to us that we appreciated it so much. What we're finding is that so far our guests have all come back with, wow, this is more information than anybody has given us. We really appreciate it, especially for those people that are coming from out of state that don't spend the time up in the mountains that haven't been to Truckee or Tahoe before. And so to have all that restaurant information and the place where to go rent skis, where to go snowboarding, where to go ice skating, and for this summer we'll develop one for summer as well for all the hiking and all the activities, because there's so much to do up there that it can be a little confusing, I think, for somebody who's new that doesn't know the area. So far the feedback has been really great, and we're happy with it.
Great. Awesome. Okay, so our consensus is more information the better. Do any of you make your guests use the HomeAway app? Or do you present it as an option?
I put it in our welcome letter that they will receive the invitation and that it's up to them if they use it or not.
Okay. Okay. So then your codes and directions and everything you send in addition.
My codes are not in there. I'm not, I don't put my code in there. I'm not comfortable with that. I send the code separately.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Well, we don't use a code, and HomeAway invites them, so I don't think I need to pre-warn them. I mean, there's nothing negative about it in my opinion to pre-warn them. It comes to them just like invoices come and all the other information comes, and they get it, and I keep it current, and they're welcome to sign on if they want.
Okay. And Maria says she always presents it as an option, and she feels it's going to be a challenge up in her Nova Scotia property because it's an unplugged retreat. So, people are not going to have access to the internet while they're there. Maria, have you know that once they download it while they're on Wi-Fi somewhere, that they can still access and open the app and access all the information you put in there even when they're off Wi-Fi and off data plans? She's typing, so everybody knows. Yeah, she's typing. At least she looks like she's typing.
Yeah.
She says that's good to know that they told her that, but she wasn't for sure. So yeah, Maria, you will have your guests do have that option. If you just let them know to make sure they access the app while they're on Wi-Fi or data, and then once they get to your property, they can access everything you've put into the content blocks. They just can't get to anything that relies on data, like the Google suggestions for the closest grocery store or whatever. So. Me personally, with the app, I actually make all my guests use it. It's 100% of my guests use it. Reason being is that is how they get their security code from me. But I also do have the welcome book, redundant information at the house. Actually, some of it posted on the refrigerator, the emergency contact information, the Wi-Fi, the Keurig instructions are right there just in case, because nobody can go without their coffee. And the feedback I've had from my guests is, oh my goodness, this is awesome. But I think it's also in how I present the app too. I know you guys do as an option for people and give them a choice. I make it a selling point for mine. Even on an inquiry, I'll say, hey, we're a tech geek here, and we're going to give you this custom app for our house to use. And they get a little excited, and it's great. My New Year's Eve guest recently even told me when I talked to him, he goes, oh my goodness, you have this app? Why doesn't everybody have this app? And that's great for him, and it was great for those guests. But I know there are guests out there too that don't use it, because I do have a lot of grandparents that book, and then they send things on to the next generation to take care of for them. And then, of course, we're not unplugged like Maria as well.
So if you make it mandatory or not an option, and you have an older person who is not plugged in, the grandparent, I'm not clear on how they necessarily access if they don't even know what an app is, which really some of the ones don't. I guess
they can access it through their computer, actually. You can click on the links and it will open in your computer the same as it opens on your smartphone. And then you can actually print stuff from there too. And I think, I know everybody's groups of guests are different. And I've had, I think, one guest in 7 years that I've actually had to snail mail things because they didn't have a computer at home, and they did research on the library, found my place, took my phone number, and then called me to do the bookings.
How do you tell them then that they have to use the app?
I make it exciting. When I make the reservation, I say at the end, okay, you're going to get 4 emails from me. First email is your confirmation of booking, and that includes all the information we just talked about, your, confirming your dates, the price, and it tells you the other emails that are coming. Second email is the rental agreement, basic, no smoking, no pets type of thing for us, and it's through Adobe EchoSign, and I tell them that so they know they can click on those links. And I tell them the third email is going to be their invoice that they pay through eCheck, and that is through our credit card processor. And I tell them, everything is cool to click on links in there. Then I say, okay, your fourth email is the fun one. We've got an app that is custom for our house. You download it to your smartphone, your tablet, you open it on the computer, and it's going to have all kinds of information about our house. You can see everything I have listed in the kitchen. You can see everything as far as hiking trails, information about boating. You'll have our favorite restaurants, you'll have the closest grocery stores, and then 2 weeks before arrival, your directions and security codes show up in here. All you gotta do is open it up, click the map, press go, and you're at our house. What other methods work for you ladies?
Well, so far in our, we just have a very limited experience, and we just use the PDF for them, and then we have all of the PDF as well that is printed in the welcome book at the house, so they can access it if they didn't print it up. And then some of the things that we have at the house are a little different, like the emergency information, like all the trash and how to work that, that kind of stuff that they don't need beforehand is also in the welcome book. So far it's been good. I like the idea of what Lori was saying about having everything, because I think that different people work different ways. And I do like the idea of having the app as well. It's just a little time consuming on getting it all that information in there.
Exactly.
I like to
Maria?
I'm sorry. I just like to send everything every time there's a communication. No matter what, whether they make a payment or whether they're asking me a question, anytime there's a touch base, I cover every base again. And I didn't use
that is awesome.
I didn't used to do that in the beginning, and there was so much that got ignored, and I couldn't understand why people would ignore all the information. But I found that the more I blast them, the greater the chance that they'll pay attention.
Yeah.
And not show up at 10 o'clock in the morning and wonder why they can't get in the house.
Right. The other thing
controlling, making sure they're aware of what, making sure they expect what they know to expect. That definitely makes for a smoother traveling experience.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention that I have found is that everybody so far who has stayed is really big on texting. And so we have been, like the lockbox code, we have been texting to them just prior to their arrival, and any questions they might have, or I'll just send them a quick text, and especially if I know they're using text, and I'll send them a quick text and just say, did you make it, and is everything okay? It's a great way to kind of keep in touch with them as well, and that if they need more information at that time, they can ask.
That's a great idea, Melinda. Maria's adding to here. In the house, she also has binders of takeout menus and brochures and maps. And then she's also found that when someone makes a payment, even though VRBO sends out a confirmation, if she doesn't confirm also, they'll be contacting her. So she always makes sure she confirms as well. And she agrees that texting is a great idea. I know whenever my guests arrive, I try to time it about an hour or so after they get there. I try to give them a call and just say, hey, welcome to the place. Want to make sure you arrive safely and everything's good at the house. And, you know, if I get a voicemail, I'll say, oh, just call or text me if you have any questions. And I think that opens up that line of communication as well.
You know, we don't use our cell phones until they arrive, really, because all of my communication goes through my Google Voice number. And that means if they try to text me, it never appears.
So you don't have your Google Voice to get text messages?
Not on my phone. I'm going to have to check that. It'll text into a untranslatable thing on the computer because I live on my computer. But I don't like to use the cell phone because then you start getting all that garbage stuff. And because I travel a lot, I don't have to have my cell phone on. You know, it just goes to my Google Voice and I can get information any place I am in the world.
It's a really good idea.
I don't tell people if I'm not in the country because as soon as I mention that I'm on vacation or out of the country, they say, oh, well, we'll get back to you in 3 weeks and we'll pay you in 3 weeks.
Right.
All right, ladies, well, we are running out of time here. Is there anything else that you ladies want to add?
It would be really great, I think, if they include, and going forward, I'm sure they will, let's have some photos in that app also, so when you pull up the restaurants, right, they can have the photos. And
oh, yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah, so photos pulled from the restaurants, like Yelp reviews or something you're thinking?
Great tool.
Or photos that you add yourself.
Yeah, photos you add yourself. For
the hospitality app?
Talking and saying how you use it, it was so much more exciting, and the things you were saying, and I was just envisioning photos coming up as you were describing the kitchen, you know, the Keurig. And,
that is a good idea.
I had a whole different view of it when you were describing it than when I was seeing it.
Yeah, I think it's a big difference in how you present it to your guests. And you know, the big thing about the app, and the reason I started using it really, is it helps my own workflow and to get information to my guests. And though they have a feeling that I take care of them through that app, and I'm giving them a lot of information. And I don't have to, I used to send out so many different emails, and I have a Google Calendar that I scheduled emails reminding me when to send me emails. And with the app now, I don't have to do any of that, and it is so nice. Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate you joining us today. If you hang on a second after I hit stop broadcast, then we can chat a few more minutes. But thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us, and I think it was a really great discussion, and I will talk to you later.